As an inventor, innovator, marketer, and athlete, Tom Sims was snowboarding's first pioneer and revered as one of the most influential figures of snowboarding in the early stages of the sport, including exposing millions to snowboarding when he served as a stunt double for Roger Moore in the 1985 James Bond film A View to Kill, where he shredded glaciers, dodged gunfire, and straight-lined a pond on the first take. As a teenager growing up in Haddonfield, New Jersey, Tom Sims was a dedicated skier and skateboarder. In 7th grade, he cobbled together what he dubbed a ski board in shop class and rode it down snowy hills at the local country club. In the late 1960s, Sims moved to California and began fashioning full-size snowboards as well as longboard skateboards. He founded Sims Snowboards and Skateboards and opened his doors in 1976, a full year before any other snowboarding brand. Sims had the vision, drive, and creative mind to revolutionize equipment, establish snowboarding halfpipes as a major event, and eventually earn him credit for his role in establishing snowboarding as an Olympic sport. His technological breakthroughs remain legendary even today, though Tom never had the capital to adequately finance his own company. His early team riders include Sean Palmer, Craig Kelly, Terry Kidwell, and Shannon Dunn. Tom also left his own mark as a competitor, winning the slalom at the U.S. Open of Snowboarding and capturing the legendary Mount Baker Bank Slalom title, both in 1985. Perhaps most of all, Sims was the ideal poster boy for the board sports image and lifestyle, constantly pushing to combine surfing and skateboarding tricks and showcase them on snow. On September 12, 2012, Tom Sims passed away due to complications following cardiac arrest at a hospital near his home in Santa Barbara, California. 11 years prior to his death, Tom married Hilary Sims, who was already actively involved with the business. Hilary and a small Sims team, along with the backing of Never Summer Industries, have worked to revitalize the brand and return it to core snowboarding retailers. The company has partners in Japan who have played a major role in revitalizing the brand there, with everyone pushing forward to honor Tom Sims' iconic legacy. For igniting snowboarding as its first pioneer, Tom Sims earns entry into the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame.
Being presented by Tom's longtime friend, Dennis Nazari. Hilary Sims, in memory of your husband, Tom Sims, having been elected by representation of the 15 million skiers and snowboarders in America, we hereby bestow upon you, in his honor, our country's highest snow sport award, the Medal of Honor, and confer upon you from this day forward, April 6, 2019, in Salt Lake City, Utah, induction into the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame, where your husband's accomplishments will forever be remembered.
Been here himself, but I guess I get the honors. Before snowboarding was a word, Tom called it ski boarding. Here in Utah, we called it stickin'. And Alta was the only place that allowed him. True story. So a little fun fact, here we are almost 40 years later, and there's only 2 resorts in the whole country that don't allow snowboards. They both happen to be right here in Utah. I first met Tom in the early 80s, fresh out of high school. Got into snowboarding early and went to the World Championships in Soda Springs, California. Despite being a competitor, the event, I had met Tom and kind of got the impression it was an aura of confidence and cockiness. And time went on, it became an undeniable sense of passion and snowboarding and snowboarders. That cockiness quickly turned to admiration and alliance. A few years later, I got a free board from Tom as a sponsored rider. It was a pretty big deal back in those days. The one thing that Tom wanted most was feedback. He wanted to know how to make it better, how to make it easier, how to get more people involved, how to get resorts open to the snowboards. His constant passion for snowboarding laid the groundwork for the most influential transformation of snowboarding by facilitating the introduction of skateboard and surf style into snowboarding. He was the first to produce a kicktail snowboard for bidirectional riding, doing backwards tricks, riding fakie, an innovation he later coined freestyle riding. This was at a time when snowboarding was dominated by ski events, alpine events, giant slalom, downhill, GS. Tom later introduced snowboards to half-pipe riding. At one of the first events that he put on, had the first hand-dug half-pipe, and a lot of the competitors at the time didn't really know what to do with it or in it. One of the best things about it was it unleashed a sense of motivation, inspiration. People that didn't ride half pipes or had never been one before, all of a sudden were found to be creating their own style. And at that event, he was able to open a lot of people's eyes to what snowboarding was a potential could be. At the World Championships, it was the first place that there was a real hand-dug half pipe. Many of the competitors were excited to try it, others bowed out. After my run through the pipe, I rushed to go see what Tom had in line, and with some of the riders, there was a lot of competition. There was a lot of skateboarders, Gedwell, Palmer, some of those people were there. But rushed to go see the spectator part of the event, and Tom's run was coming up. Not only did he have the best outfit of the day, but he laid down a smooth, surf-inspired run that ended with a flawless layback stop right in front of the judges' table. Typical Tom Sims style. He ended up winning that event, and with that, another title of world champion to his name. In the years that followed, Tom defined the differences between freestyle and free riding that were quickly taking over the alpine disciplines. Other snowboard manufacturers were scrambling to keep up. He was an influence in snowboarding that most people today don't recognize, but there's definitely a worldwide acceptance of snowboarding, exception of Utah. There's a couple of spots. It's been said Tom Sims saved snowboarding from the ski industry. Tom's passion for snowboarding never stopped as he traveled the world exposing others to snow surfing, and this effort went on to influence generations of riders around the world. I remember over 20 years ago on a 3-day private cat trip here with 10 other surf and snowboard legends, Tom and I were discussing board designs, and he would just get so passionate about it. He would just get so excited, and just tunnel vision would kick in, and he would just start thinking about things. And I remember at the first night of the event, after riding some of the best snow on earth here in Utah, we drew out a swallowtail design on his favorite board at the time. Actually, one of the boards that's being auctioned off out there, it's that same board, but That was his favorite board at the time. Later that night, I took it to Salty Peaks, cut the tail out, and took me several hours, but then at the end, I was so intrigued with it, I decided to cut my own board. The next day, the lack of sleep that night didn't have much effect, but the enthusiasm and excitement of riding the world's greatest snow on this new idea that Tom more or less hatched for me was enough to keep us going. In the end, that day was one of the best days of my life. It changed my life on a snowboard for sure, and that's something that is still influencing top snowboard designs today. Tom had a way of influencing others to open their mind and do their own thing. He's had a profound effect on my ability with snowboarding and passion for the sport. Tom's legacy lives on today in so many lives around the world, and with the help of Hilary, his wife of 11 years, he continues to carry the torch for the Tom Sims brand and legacy that continues to inspire new generations of snowboarders around the world. So like the sticker says, thanks, Tom. Rest in peace.